Leo Messi to Paris Saint-Germain is here we go.
Erling Haaland to Manchester City, here we go.
Moises Caicedo to Chelsea is here we go.
Here we go. These seem to be just 3 words, but football fans have a history associated with it. Happiness, anger, joy, exuberation, anguish, and sadness. All of these emotions have been felt by fans hearing just these 3 words. So, what's so important about them? Well, these are the trademark of one of the most famous journalists in the history of sports entertainment. You see, it was another summer of mumbo-jumbo with players changing loyalties, some for money, others for passion, and there was one guy at the helm of everything. One journalist whose account became the most influential in the world, surpassing Elon Musk with 4.2 billion impressions, more than half the world population. And this man is Fabrizio Romano. Before we get started, we have a fun question for you guys. Which is the most liked post by a football club? You sense it right, it was the return of Cristiano to the club that made him the GOAT. Now another question, what is the second most liked post? Yes, it's Messi's transfer to PSG. Do you spot the similarity? Well, there's one big one, transfers, and Fabrizio covers all of them. From some unknown talent getting signed by the youth system of Manchester United to Messi's transfer to Inter Miami, Fabrizio Romano covers it all for you. But how does he do it? Sportelligence has this covered for you. Romano started working in 2009 while he was still in high school, and his first major breakthrough came when he received inside information from an Italian agent in Barcelona regarding then Barcelona B player Mauro Icardi in 2011. Speaking to the New York Times, he said, I helped him at the start of his career, and now it was his turn to help me. He had the news 6 months before the deal's announcement. That was the time everything changed. To get the news 6 months before an actual announcement, Romano was really moving like a god, and he hasn't looked back since. Joining Sky Sports Italy in 2012, he's created and built contacts with clubs, agents, and intermediaries all over Europe. Romano also works as a reporter for The Guardian and CBS Sports. Based in Milan, he's racked up over 33 million followers on social media. He's the global leader for transfer news, with 1.12 million subscribers on YouTube, 9.7 million followers on Twitter, and 8.9 million followers on Instagram. He's basically an internet sensation, and why wouldn't he be? He's broken so many transfer news stories. So many, it's probably a record impossible now to beat. When Romano hits send on a post, the world listens. Speaking to The Sporting News, Fabrizio shared some insights into his job and career. I realised that I wanted to be a journalist from an early age because I've always loved football, but I was not at the right level to play it professionally. That's why I immediately chose journalism. Also thanks to my first experience in a small site at 16, which made me understand that this was my path. But like every great player, Fabrizio was given nothing on a silver platter. In fact, it wasn't until 2020 that he had his first viral transfer news. And of course, it involved one of the biggest clubs in the world, Manchester United. The then Sporting CP midfielder Bruno Fernandes was on Manchester United's radar. While many thought the Portuguese international was going to join United in the previous transfer window, Romano claimed it would not happen. When Fernandes joined the Red Devils in January 2020, Romano finally tweeted that it was done. From that moment, his status increased considerably. That transfer firmly established his name in the world of football journalism, and since then, it's been nothing but up. Ronaldo, Messi, Benzema, Mahrez, and the list goes on and on. This guy has broken every major transfer of the summer. And that's not even the best bit. The fun part is how he announces them. Here we go. Romano told The Sporting News, a few years ago, I was reporting a Manchester United transfer, and after 1 month of updates I wrote, here we go, as if to say, everything is finally completed on this deal. From that day on, many followers on Twitter started asking me, can you say, here we go, also for this Arsenal, Barcelona or Liverpool deal? According to 90 Minutes, the tagline he uses is one of the most trusted transfer-related indicators in the sport. In fact, the tagline is so famous, a number of football clubs have even asked him to show up in their transfer videos. This guy is certainly going places, and it doesn't end here. In 2022, Romano was included in the European Forbes 30 Under 30 list for media and marketing. But how is he so good at what he does? Well, don't worry, Sportelligence has got some insights on that as well. When a big transfer saga is on the horizon, Fabrizio often tweets about the player in question whenever they perform well or score goals to keep fans thinking about the player and the upcoming transfer story. He would post his stories and would build up the football community to the transfer of the player. Example of this, Jude Bellingham. Jude was on the move and the entire summer revolved around who will he join and where will he take his talents. There was only one guy giving us minute-by-minute updates. And you can guess who broke the news of his transfer to Real Madrid.
Jude Bellingham to Real Madrid. Here we go.
Yes, Fabrizio is everywhere. In order to collect the contacts he has, he must build trust with them. That sometimes means leaving out certain pieces of information he's told. Sometimes the content he receives must be withheld until a certain point. In doing so, it helps Romano, as well as many other journalists, maintain the contacts they have. Living in Milan, Romano regularly goes to cafes, bars, club headquarters, hotels, among other buildings of the like, to speak to sources in person. These are some of the places where transfers are discussed and prepared. And Romano has told the press a lot of times how calm he is, how he manages his business. He once said, "I honestly do not feel the pressure. I know that thanks to social media, every word of mine has a worldwide impact on football, but at the same time, I believe it's right with humility to remember that I am just a journalist and that football is just a game. Those who really have power and pressure are those who do much more demanding jobs than mine. Being a transfer market journalist is a stressful, difficult, yet beautiful job." He also told us about who his favourite transfer saga's been. Surprisingly, Romano said it was being part of the announcement of Lorenzo Insigne's move to Toronto FC. "I thought it was impossible to get to this level. I'm from Naples. Insigne is a legend in that city. 11 years ago, I was at school with my friends who talked about Lorenzo as an idol, and now I announced his transfer with a video on Toronto accounts." Well, talk about a success story. Even after reporting the news of such a big legend, he still didn't stop, or in his own words, "Whoever stops is lost in the transfer market." If you like this video, please consider subscribing to our channel where business meets football. And if we haven't gained your trust yet, do check out our other videos here. We'll see you in the next one.